Welcome back to Acne Beautiful with Morgan Elizabeth. Today is week 6. We are going to make a meal together. Oh no.
I dropped some kale.
Okay, all I want to show you guys today is how to make a super delicious, quick kale salad base that you can add a variety of vegetables and fruits to. So I have one head or one bunch of kale, and that's what we're going to use today. I'm going to de-stem the kale. It just tastes the best without a big honkin' stem. I started eating massive quantities of this stuff back when I first started seeing my own health coach. Okay, that box driving me crazy. Should I go push it down? I'm gonna go push it down. It's hot today. Right, so I started eating kale on the regular when I was seeing a health coach of my own years and years and years ago. I misheard my coach one day. I thought she told me to eat about 2 cups at least of kale every single day. And I went home and I did that. It wasn't until several months later during one of our sessions that I mentioned to her that I was still eating 2 cups of kale at least daily. And she looked at me like, oh, that's great, but I don't remember telling you to do that. Anyway, what it did for me was it just gave me something to consistently do pretty much every day. I was eating these big delicious salads every day for the first time in my life, just very regularly. And they were loaded up with so many different colorful vegetables. You know what? You could get a bag of mixed greens and just take those mixed greens, plop them in a bowl, and not even have to do what we're about to do here with the kale. I mean, you can make eating healthy extremely simple. So we're gonna de-stem this kale. Like I said, kale in a salad form with its stem is just a little bit too obnoxious. I'm going to just cut the stems out like this, so you're left with a stem. So I'm just gonna do that for a few minutes. So here's my leaves, about 3 leaves chopped up. And I'll just slide them into my bowl here. I'm going to continue de-stemming this kale, and I will see you back here shortly. Okay, we have a bowl full of kale. Honestly, I don't even know anymore, and it doesn't even matter. Let's just ignore that. Alright guys, so I have a bowl full of kale. The next step is to basically massage the kale. We want to relax it, because it's had a hard day. Get your hands in there and massage it. This is going to break down those fibrous membranes and again make this kale a lot more enjoyable to eat. Breaking those cell walls up a little bit, and you're allowing for those nutrients to become a little bit more available. You're increasing the bioavailability of the food, which enhances its nutritional characteristics before it makes it to your stomach, before it even makes it to your mouth. Ooh, what a mess. Now, our entire process of digestion, which starts in the mouth, is to help break down and assimilate minerals and vitamins and other macro and micronutrients. We're going to use an acid to help break down the kale. Usually I would use a lemon or a lime. I don't have any lemon or limes right now. So I'm going to use a vinegar. You can also use vinegar. You can use an apple cider vinegar. I wouldn't recommend a balsamic vinegar only because it's going to really stain your fingers. I also have rice vinegar. So today I'm going to use just a splash of rice vinegar. And this stuff is pretty potent tasting, so I'm really using about 1/2 teaspoon. Then we're going to add some sea salt. If you have any little cuts or anything like that on your fingers, save this activity for another day, or put some gloves on actually. But a little bit of sea salt, Himalayan pink sea salt. You can use any sea salt, Celtic sea salt. I'm gonna be kind of generous with it. So it's time to start massaging this. And when you make your own fermented foods, or if you buy fermented foods, those are also going through a process of breaking down, of decomposing, and they're, you know, going through that process by fermenting. We're also speeding up the decomposition process of this kale by doing this. And we're not going to let it go all the way to the end of the decomposition process because we're going to eat it before it gets there. Okay, and as you do this, the kale is going to release its own water as well, and it's going to make the process a little bit easier. The fresher your kale, the more you're going to have to massage it. This is not going to take me long because I've had this kale sitting in my refrigerator a little longer than I'd like to admit. I think I've had it in there for about a week now. Oh no, not a week. I bought it on Monday. Okay, take a peek. It has shrunk down a little bit. This is good enough for me. Smells good. This is good enough for me because it's pretty well coated, and yeah, I'm happy with that. So there you have it. I suggest you add some ground almonds to your kale. You're going to be amazed at how delicious it makes this very versatile vegetable. It almost creates like a paste around it, and it just is so delicious. I don't know what else to tell you other than it's delicious. So ground almonds, you can buy almond flour, that'll work. That is extremely finely ground almonds, but it will work. Or you can buy whole natural raw almonds and you can grind them yourself in a food processor and get sort of like a powdery texture going. If you go too long, you're gonna end up with almond butter, which is also delicious. I do not have almonds today, but I do have ground flaxseed. I did grind this yesterday, so we are okay. Now you could combine flaxseed and almonds if you'd like, a little extra nutrients in your nutrient profile. I would suggest if you use about a whole bunch of kale, you can use a good heavy 1/4 cup of ground almonds and then add a tablespoon of ground flaxseed if you want to. You could go upwards of a 1/2 cup of ground almonds depending on how much kale you have and depending on how coated you like it to be. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a good 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of ground flaxseed. Now, if you do flaxseed, I'm going to tell you right now, always buy your flaxseed whole and grind it yourself. Do not buy pre-ground flaxseed because it has a strong tendency to go rancid. It's very delicate, very, very delicate fat. So you buy those flax seeds whole. It'll be less expensive to do that as well. And then you use a coffee grinder to grind them up. Because flaxseed is a little bit gelatinous forming, I wouldn't use as much flaxseed as I would almond if I was just doing flaxseed. So because I'm just doing flaxseed, you can barely tell that it's coated right now. If I had used almonds, I would have put a lot more, and you would see clearly that it would be quite coated with almonds. But you can definitely tell that there's a grainy texture in there, and that is the flaxseed. Now we have a delicious base. This is going to taste really delicious, and I promise you, if you use almonds, it's going to taste so delicious. You can do anything you want with that now. You can put that in your refrigerator, and then throughout the week, you can just cut up different vegetables and add those vegetables to it. What could you add to it? Whatever your heart desires. You can steam some asparagus and throw them in there. You can do just cold vegetables and stick to things like cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes. You can get zucchini. You can slice your zucchini super duper thin. Get one of these xylus peelers, and you could do little zucchini noodly strips with it. Same thing. See my eyes through there? You could use that for zucchini. You can use that for carrots. Yeah, you can do cauliflower. You can do broccoli. You can buy frozen vegetables. Okay, you can buy frozen organic vegetables. You can buy frozen vegetables non-organic. Simply steam them in a pot. It takes 5 to 10 minutes. Microwave them if you really want to. I mean, it's more about getting the vegetables in your body. Getting a variety of vegetables every day as opposed to making it, some big project or difficult for yourself. If you have a day where you want to experiment more, then awesome. But right now, I just want to make sure that you guys are, setting yourselves up for success through this acne beautiful journey. And food, as one of the foundations for your skin's health, it should be easy. It shouldn't be something that impedes your success. Dress up your salad with pretty much anything that you like right now that is not including dairy. We haven't even gotten into any sort of discussion about oils, so we're not even going to go down that route right now. But the other beautiful thing about using your own citrus or vinegar and then adding the ground almonds to it to create that paste, it really does provide you with a dressing on your kale salad, so to speak. So you don't need to go buy some dressing and load it up like that. You're getting plenty of healthy fats from the almonds, and then if you choose to use flax, you'll be getting some healthy fats from that as well. So why kale anyway? Why did I choose kale? Besides the fact that I ate a ton of it when I started out my own journey to clearing my skin from within. Well, it's a nutritionally dense food, and no wonder it got so popular for a while there, because it's just full of nutrients. Can you get bored of kale? Can you get sick of kale? Yeah, you can get bored and sick of any food that you eat too much of, right? So you always want to mix things up and take breaks and try new things. But as far as kale is concerned, about 1.5 cups of kale is going to provide you with 53 calories. So it's a very low calorie food. Obviously, it's low in fat. And it does have about 3.54 grams of protein for that 1.5 cups. So it's not high on the spectrum of protein, but it is providing you with a few little grams there of protein. 9.73 carbohydrates in about 1.5 cups. So you are getting some carbohydrates. You're getting these carbohydrates in a complex carbohydrate form, which is going to be easier on your body than something like a rice or a wheat or a just grain-based product, which provides you with a less complex carbohydrates. Now, you're not getting a lot of carbohydrates here, but you are getting some carbohydrates. And mind you, you're going to be eating this salad with a lot of other different things in it that are going to provide you with some additional macro and micronutrients. Fiber, you're going to get about 1.8 grams of fiber in about 1.5 cups of kale. That is going to be very, very useful and important for you in terms of sweeping out, cleaning out leftover gunk, junk, toxins, moving things along, making sure that you are having regular bowel movements, which is part of your body's detoxification process. So vitamin A, let's talk about it. Vitamin A has about 308% of your vitamin A needs. Thiamine, which is a B vitamin, you get about 7% of that. 200% of your vitamin C needs, and since we are not cooking it or exposing it to heat, you are getting the benefits of that vitamin C. Vitamin K, in this case, it's going to be vitamin K1 because K2 is really primarily found in animal products and natto. You're getting a whopping 1,021% of your vitamin K in the form of K1. Riboflavin, about 8%, which is also a B vitamin. Niacin, 5%, also a B vitamin. vitamin B 14%, and folate, which does often end up in the complex, vitamin B complex, 7%. Which ones on that list are particularly relevant to us today? Well, the vitamin A, even though this is not an animal form of vitamin A, it's not fat soluble, it's not the most beneficial form of vitamin A, nevertheless, it is vitamin A that we want. And vitamin C and vitamin K. The smattering of B vitamins, we still want them. High in antioxidants, kale is packed with multiple types of beneficial antioxidants. The multitude of antioxidants in kale were really going to help negate or cancel out some of the free radical damage, as well as just general unwanted toxins in the body. As we know, excess free radicals in the body can lead to a plethora of inflammatory-based conditions, and acne, as always, is an inflammatory condition. So those antioxidants help protect against all sorts of things like heart disease, cancer, and inflammation on a whole. One of those antioxidants, vitamin C. We did say that it's a great source of vitamin C, packing a 200% value in about a cup and a half of that kale. If you want that shiny skin that's not so oily shiny, a little bit more kale in your diet may help you. So I did mention vitamin A, right? Kale is high in beta carotene, and your body can convert beta carotene into vitamin A. So it's not the preferred form of vitamin A, which we would get from like a cod liver oil or another animal-based product that's pasture raised. However, our body can still do a lot of good with this form of vitamin A, beta carotene. We just have to convert it. Now, not everyone's going to be efficient at converting things in the body. It doesn't mean to avoid eating it though. And the more you clean up your diet, the less allergies and sensitivities that you experience, and the just cleaner machine that your body becomes, you become a more efficient converter. But vitamin A is used to grow and maintain body tissue, and that includes skin and hair. In addition, vitamin C helps support our collagen matrix, which is important for the structure of our skin and our bones and our hair. Kale is a good source of calcium, which we know is important for bone health, and that includes the health of our teeth. Now, we did take out dairy, right? And we haven't really talked about too many dairy alternatives yet as far as your calcium intake is concerned. Now, that's primarily because right now we're just doing an elimination diet as far as dairy is concerned. And then if you decide to keep dairy out personally because you've seen it's making a difference in your skin, then you're going to want to assess your calcium intake and make sure that you're getting enough calcium if you're not getting it from dairy sources. So kale can be part of your delicious diet because kale is rich in calcium, which again is important for bone health. And kale is high in magnesium. Magnesium is another important cofactor when it comes to bone health. So we need a bunch of different, as we call them, cofactors to properly absorb that calcium. So it's just a nice bonus that that magnesium is in there as well. Minerals that you'll find in a bunch of kale. 14% of your calcium needs, 9% of your iron needs, magnesium about 8%, phosphorus 6%, potassium 13%, sodium 2, zinc 3, copper 14, manganese 39, and selenium 1. We will talk about selenium and zinc, copper, magnesium, and calcium in more depth as we continue down the road of our Acne Beautiful journey, because they are all important minerals when it comes to clearing the skin from within, especially zinc. I think you have everything you need to be successful at creating a beautiful base for your salads this week. Comment, subscribe, let me know what you think of your kale salad.
Kale salad.
All right. Bye for now. Love you guys very much. Whoever you are out there. Love you guys. Love you guys. This is Morgan Elizabeth signing off with Acne Beautiful.